Welcome, guys, to the No Matter What podcast. My name is Sina. I have a guest that came out and will be sharing their experience, strength, and hope. Tell us about yourself.
Wow, straight to the punch. My name's Rafa, Rafael, whichever one you want to call me by. Um, well, where I start? I mean, I got 12 years clean, a work program, been through many rehabs, detox facilities. Um, this is basically what it is. This is what the podcast is all about.
Yeah,
Seeing how could a detox facility rehab help us gain the knowledge that we get, through rehab facilities.
yeah.
I've been through many. My first one was I was 18 years old, straight out of the county, straight into a rehab. It was an uncomfortable feeling. You know, it was very structured, very hard. Didn't want to be there, but I didn't want to go to jail anymore.
Sure.
Um, so I had a choice: do I try this or do I try jails? I mean, it was an easy choice for me.
Yeah,
I didn't feel like being in jail anymore.
yeah.
So I went to a rehab facility. It was 6 months. It was hard, like I said. They woke us up at 6. It was a long time ago. I'll age myself. It was back in 1997. It was tough. I didn't want to be there. Um, Everything inside of me was telling me to run because I'm a runner by nature. Uh, I stayed for about 3 months. Um, Yeah, they kicked me out, for fraternizing.
Okay, so how would you, if I was a new individual, how do you usually describe your recovery journey to someone that's brand new?
Roller coaster.
Roller coaster. Okay, and then what did your life look like during your active addiction?
Much pain, pain and misery. Um, Pain and misery. I started at a very young age, um, through working through my trauma. I figured out I was just I was a kid looking for love.
Sure.
I was a kid looking for love. Not saying that I didn't have it at home. Raised by a single mother, did the best she can. Um, So I went to the streets, you know? I went to the streets, I went to the block, but to me, it was just a bunch of pain. It was just I mean, I would keep it 100 like I always do. I mean, initially, it was fun, you know? I'm not gonna sit here and say it wasn't, you know?
Which part of that was fun to you?
Going out and being out on the streets, but with everything that is fun in the beginning, it dies down real quick.
Sure, absolutely, absolutely.
Um, I'm not I liked going out and kick. I didn't have nobody was home, so of course I wanted to go out and I wanted to kick it with the homies and
Feel a part of.
feel part
Sure,
of
sure,
because I
sure.
didn't have nobody at home. My mom, like I said, did her best. My sister, you know, she was older than me. She was out and doing her thing, so it was just me by myself. So
Mm,
if it's me by myself, I'd rather be with people that where I'm laughing, clowning, having good times. And initially it was a good time, but the drugs just progressively got worse.
sure, sure.
It went from just, smoking weed and, having drinks here and there. I mean, I broke it down a little more when I got into step work, but that first head change that I had was about, I would say 8, 9 years old,
Mm,
and I remember it because it made me feel different. It
mhm.
made me feel like, oh, I don't really care that I'm at home and everybody else is drunk, getting drunk out of their ass, and I'm just a little kid that's running around picking up empty bottles of can that were not empty. You know,
So let me ask you this: when did things start to feel unmanageable? At what turning point did you want to make a change? right? So like I'm
when I couldn't stop.
okay. So like I mean, we all have our different rock bottoms, right? But when was your rock bottom that you finally like had that spiritual awakening and understanding of like, damn, I need to get my life under control?
It's crazy for me. I was probably 28 years old. I think it was on 28, late 20s. I got arrested for the umpteenth time.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I went and I got sentenced for a year flat in the county jail, which county jail, it's not fun. Uh, and it's crazy. For me, like I always knew what's right and wrong.
Sure.
I always known that. You know, I was busted, and my person, not my bunkie, but the person that slept next to me was a pastor.
Was he okay? All
Was
right.
a pastor, and me and him talked a lot. You know, that's all we really have when you're doing time.
Yeah.
And we talked a lot. You know, and he was a pastor, and I gathered up enough courage to say, like, what are you in for?
Hmm.
You know, like, what is a pastor doing here? And at that time, I already started seeing that I had a problem,
Uh,
you know, because I couldn't stop because I was doing a lot to get my drugs. I was doing bad things. I was running amok. I had burned all the bridges in LA. They sent me away to the desert, you know, go get clean up there, which was not a good idea because the desert has a lot of my drug. Um, so I started talking to him and I asked him, like, what do you get busted for? You know, I believe in God, my higher power, you know, and he said, I had a gathering at the church and I had a little bit too much to drink.
sure.
And instead of getting a taxi home before there's Ubers, you'll do, uh, I got in my car, and I drove and I was drunk and he crashed and he killed somebody. So they obviously got him for manslaughter. And I was like, damn. And he said, you know what? If I'm here, it's because God wants me here.
Okay.
And once he told me that, I was like, damn.
Different perspective,
Yeah.
different, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Having that surrender and that admission of like, I'm here for a reason, you know? Okay. That's very
So
strong.
so when I heard that, I was like, okay, that's cool, but I don't want to be here.
I'm
Yeah,
different.
I don't want to look at that like that. Like I am tired of, you know, I was tired of that. I was
Sure.
tired of being told where to eat, when I could eat, where to shower, where
Mm,
I could use the restroom, you know, telling me when to go to sleep. You know, I was tired of politics. I was tired of the street life. I was tired of it all.
sure,
But you know, we say around here, when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired,
sure.
you do something different.
You change, yes.
Yes. So when I had got out, I made a decision because I was introduced to a program and I already knew about the program and I seen it help a lot of people. So when I got out, I decided, well, with a little nudge from the courts, of
Sure, sure,
course.
sure, sure. A
Um,
little push.
yes, little here you go, there you go. It's either this or
Yeah,
that,
yeah, yeah.
you know. And I ended up um, going to a meeting.
So what emotions, how did you feel when you asked for help? Right? 'Cause
That was rare. It was rare for
okay,
me.
but yes, it's rare, right? But a lot of individuals are afraid,
Yeah.
right, to ask for help for judgment reason,
Hmm.
right? It's like maybe I'm gonna judge you because you're asking for some assistance,
Hmm.
right? But that's not how it is in recovery, right? Like, if I need some assistance, like as much as like my ego comes in the way of it, I'm gonna ask,
Of course.
right? Like that's gonna better my recovery out. So when you were actively using, how did you feel when you asked for help? Like what
Well,
emotions?
I had oh, we can say sponsor, all right.
Sponsor by name.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I had a sponsor once that changed me, just like how you said a little while ago, perspective, right?
Sure.
And because when I didn't like doing that. I didn't want to ask another
Mhm.
man to help me. I didn't want to ask. I didn't want to do no damn step work. I didn't want to. I didn't want to ride. I mean, I didn't even like school. And now you're telling me I have to ride. You know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
to get through whatever I'm getting through. I didn't want none of that. I was so against everything that the program had to offer, you know. But it was all for me. It was a mindset.
Mm,
You know, I was raised by the streets, and the streets is everything opposite of recovery is. It's the total opposite. You know,
yeah.
we don't tell the truth in the streets. It's not. We don't talk in the streets. In recovery, we ask for help. We tell the truth. Honesty, you know, open-mindedness and willingness to
Mhm,
do
mhm.
things to change our way of life and our way of thinking. So I had a whole sponsor that told me this, and he made it easier for me. And again, I was when this last time I think I was like 29, you know, I was almost in my 30s, you know, so I was like, fuck, 30-year-old, you know, still living living off of his sister and, you know, doing all this and, you know, feeling less than. There's a
Mm,
lot of emotions that feel there. But the sponsor had told me, "You come from the streets, right?"
yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, I do." He goes, "You're what we call a cholo, right?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Okay. But when you get jumped into your neighborhood, right?" He goes, "You always have somebody that you have to go to, right?
Sure.
You have a big homie, right? You have your your one guy that you always are willing to do crimes with, and you know both of you guys ain't
Yeah,
gonna you're gonna hold your mud, and
yeah,
ain't nobody gonna talk,
yeah,
right? So
yeah.
you have that older homie you run to, right? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, and you guys are down for your hood, and you guys are this, and you guys are loyal to the
Mm.
core, and it's all about that, right? He goes, yeah. He goes, just change that into the program of recovery.
Oof. Okay.
He goes, your sponsor is your big homie now. You know, the program is your neighborhood.
Yeah.
He goes, and now everything that you used to do before holding the mud, you do the opposite now. And you tell the truth. You become honest. You open up to another man. You know, and you let that pride and ego go away, and you start coming in with some hope, faith, and honesty,
Mm.
which is some things that we need to do around here. But in the beginning, it was hard. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
I remember going to many rehabs, and I didn't want to hear anything.
So your first time going to treatment, what was your experience entering treatment, right? How did you like, were you scared? Was this a different kind of setting, you know?
I was. Obviously, what a lot of people don't understand is the uncomfortability of a new environment, a new setting is somewhat frightening.
Mhm. Absolutely.
A lot of
Change is
people,
frightening,
yes, a
yes.
lot of people don't like to say I'm scared because they feel that type of like machismo type, you know, where
Sure.
Hispanics like to say, you know, the pride and ego,
Sure, sure.
so when I first went into it, I've always went into it where everywhere I went, whether it was if I got busted, whether it was in the neighborhood, whether it was in the streets, whether it was in the block, whether it was in rehab. If I'm gonna go full throttle. So I went into it, you know, like I'm gonna do everything what they're asking me, even though I don't want to do it, just so I could get away with it.
Mhm.
So I always try to manipulate the situation. So I went in
'Cause
there.
that's what we're good at.
Exactly. That's all I know. You know what I'm saying? That's all I know.
Sure.
So I'm gonna come in here. I went in there. I was a little frightened, you know. But I was still grateful because I was not in jail.
Uh-huh.
I always try to be grateful in every situation I go through. So I went through it. I did what they asked. But I always feel like you know, there'll be a lot of back and forth with this. People, you know, will debate it till the day. But I always feel like my disease is going to test me.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
going to test me.
yeah.
It's gonna see if am I gonna zig or am I gonna zag. So for me, what I've learned through with working the steps was relationships. It goes back to me always wanting to be loved. Me always want to be part of something. So my disease always sent me, you know, a female.
Sure.
So That's what it did in the first rehab facility, and I took the bait.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I at this place we phased up and we went out on passes, and we both, because we couldn't talk, so I would throw little notes in her locker. I even gave her a little teddy bear and put
Yeah.
cologne on it, and it was a wrap for both of us.
So do you think like that was another source of addiction, like chasing
Yes,
individuals,
most
right?
definitely.
Got you.
It comes in many shapes, forms, and it also comes. I mean, and I figured out why way later why I kept doing that,
Mm,
because throughout my story that happens multiple times. I didn't have to be in a treatment facility to change my way of thinking and my motives and all that. My old sponsor used to always tell me, check your motives. What's your motive behind it?
yeah.
If your motive behind it is pure and honest, it's good. If your motive behind it is to just get a piece of ass, then it's not good for
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah.
So for me, after working the steps thoroughly, I figured out that the only reason I always did that is because I wanted not to work on myself. That's the key thing. If I am focusing on somebody else and their flaws, that means I'm not focusing on my flaws.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And that right there to me was like mind boggling.
So a little while ago before we started this, you spoke on your last treatment center, right? On you left AMA. Say, discuss more about that.
Well, the one that they kicked me out of. You talking
Yeah,
about
yeah,
you?
yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
yes. That place was a little odd. I mean, like every place is different. This place was more.
Structured, oriented, and I I
Yeah.
would like to say structured, but a lot of people wouldn't say structured, right?
Yeah, it was structured. I mean, now I can say it was. I mean, they had a lot of rules that I didn't like, and at the time I
Who
wasn't
likes
willing.
rules?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we were rule breakers, and
Yeah,
all of a sudden now we got to follow rules. But yeah, they we couldn't curse. Obviously, I curse a lot. And this place every time it kind of it made you feel small. And the reason why I say this because, like, like back in school when you had like the good stars, like 2 stars today. This one you had like this one it would have like sad faces.
yeah,
So if you accumulated a certain amount of sad faces, you would have to at the end of the night they would wake you up from your dead sleep while everybody was sleeping, and it was out in basically like a dirt field, like a ranch type place, and they will make you go to the back and they will make you dig a 6 by 6 inch hole, and they will say throw your old stuff in there and then put the dirt back, and now you are a new person. Well, I mean, with my stubborn ass, I said I am not gonna fucking do that. And they said, if you don't, we will call the sheriffs to get you kicked out of here. And I said, well, you go ahead and call the sheriffs because I ain't gonna do that. But the whole thing was weird because, I mean, talk about God being in my life already, even though I didn't see it. I got kicked out. Me and my son's mother went there together, but she was in another facility
sure.
somewhere down the road. So at pitch dark, I was walking. I found it. I was yelling. They told me, if you don't leave, we're calling the cops. So I walked over to a Walmart, went to a Walmart, and it was about 5 o'clock in the morning. I must have looked homeless because this man walked up to me and he said, "Are you okay, mijo?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm good. I just left this treatment facility, and my girl's at the other treatment facility, and I don't know what to do."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he said, "Why don't you come to my house and we'll figure it out."
Got shot.
He said he had lived near those facilities,
Sure.
so we went. I ate. I fell asleep, and when I was asleep, I was hearing my son's mother, my girl at the time, her voice, and I was like, "Am I fucking dreaming
Yeah,
this?"
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know? And I woke up,
Psychosis moment.
yes,
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is going on? But what ended up happening is that she says she had felt something that she didn't want to stay no more, so she left, and she went to the man's facility and said he had fucking left
Yeah,
already.
yeah,
So she was walking. That old man was outside of his house. He told her, "Who are you looking for?" She said, "A bald Mexican." And she was like, "Yeah," he
Good
was like,
description.
"Yes, exactly."
Good
So that
description.
it was somewhere where there's primarily a lot of white people,
Yeah,
so they
yeah.
were like, "Okay, that I found him."
Yeah, yeah.
So he basically said, "I found him. He's inside sleeping," and that's I was hearing her voice. It
Yeah.
was really her. So we ended up going back. He gave us a ride back to her Corona, and you would think that with that we would have stayed clean,
Nope.
but no,
No.
I wasn't done yet.
So what part of treatment had the biggest impact on you?
I don't even know if we could say that. I mean, when people from the program, I'll say like this: when people from the program, outside programs, will come in and share the strength, experience, and
Sure.
hope.
Sure.
Um, that right there showed me.
Was that did that give you an introduction to the program?
Yeah, it most
Okay.
definitely did. That's the one. That is the one reason I didn't know about these other programs. I didn't know about none of. I didn't even know about the program that I work on. But it was because of that, them coming in and sharing their strength, experience, and hope is that I got my introduction to the program.
Sure.
I
Wow.
mean, and that seed was planted.
Yeah.
I would like to think that from at 18 years old in 1997 that I followed it, but I didn't, obviously. Um, but the seed was planted. The seed was definitely planted, but it took a while for me to get there. And the scary thing about it is that what I like to tell a lot of the newcomers that I see is that that doesn't have to be your story.
Yeah.
Your story doesn't have to be mine. A lot of people nowadays with the drugs that are out there now, I mean, it's a hell of a lot more scarier. People nowadays are dying quicker than they were when I was getting loaded.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that doesn't have to be their story. At time, you take it for what you got now. One thing I will tell them, and one thing I try to do is no matter what, even though if I wasn't listening to what they were saying, I was taking it in, and I was still being some type of sponge and absorbing information.
Yeah.
That's the key thing for a lot of people is, but they don't want. We don't want to hear it. I mean, it takes what it takes. But the scary thing about it is some don't make it back.
Mm. Especially now, man, especially now with fentanyl, with pressed pills.
Yeah.
It's very scary, man. When I first came into recovery, my sponsor at that time, told me, make sure you get a suit because you're gonna go to a lot of funerals, man. And I've been around here for quite some time that I understand what that means.
Hmm.
It sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks because, as much as that we try to help individuals achieve recovery, we can't. It's on their own pace. It just sucks. It
Scary.
sucks.
It's
Yeah.
scary. I mean,
It
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 really
really
is. I
does.
mean, I was told to it different than your sponsor told you, but it's the same thing. But I was told get yourself a suit because you're either going to be buried in it
Okay. Yeah.
or you're going to use
That's a
it to
better
go to
way. I like that.
or you're going to go to the funeral in it.
Which is true.
And the choice is
The
yours.
choi
So see it like that. I was like, oh fuck
Wow.
that. Like I know
Wow.
I'll rather wear it
Yeah.
than be buried in.
Yeah.
You know,
That is
I mean, recovery is such a beautiful thing. Like it really is, and that's why I always like to say, like for me, and we hear it. I know you've heard it. Like recovery starts in up here.
mm,
It's in our stinking thinking. That's why I always try to say, like everything starts with the thought. Like even when I wake up in the morning, like my brain tells me, "Oh, you got to piss." So I gotta wake up and take a piss. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Is I don't just wake up and straight automatically go to the restroom. Everything starts with the thought. So I mean, as long as we don't run with that first thought, like a lot of it's too, like my first thought is still not the brightest.
Sure.
Sometimes I gotta go through second thought, third thought, fourth thought. Okay, maybe I should call my sponsor now, or call one of my brothers in recovery that could be like, no, that's stupid. Don't do that. Because I still want to act the fool.
Yeah. So what were your biggest challenges, early in recovery?
Listening to my head. Listening to my head. The biggest challenge, honestly, another one would be is, when we go to enough meetings, I guess I could say that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We always hear that productive member of society.
What did
You know,
okay? What does that mean to you?
productive member of society means somebody that is able to do something, hold himself accountable, take care of his kids if he has kids, his family, hold down a job, be responsible. Because I always like to say responsible, because that is a key thing. That is foreign to us. I mean,
Yes, it
for
is.
me,
It
a good day
is.
for me was what lick I'm gonna hit.
Sure.
How
How am
much?
I gonna go get my
Yes,
dope?
exactly. Like
It's
but for
which
me,
route am I gonna take to
but see, I think that was a tough one for me, because my last this not this one, but when I got released the last time I was in jail, my mother had been I put my mother through the ringer, so she said, I'm gonna give you a month worth of rent, you know. You're gonna have to figure it out after that,
wow.
you know. So at the time it was me and my son's mother. Um and she was getting, aid, but it was still not enough. So we stretched it a little bit. So I think we had like a couple of months, because we saved enough to do that. But I had like I was going to meetings, and I was going to probably like 7 meetings a week or a day, because I wasn't working at the time, so I
Yeah.
was doing that. But then I had a question. I talked to my sponsor at the time. I said, like, I need a job.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I need a fucking job
To keep busy. Yeah,
to pay the fucking
yeah.
rent.
Oh, of course that
You know what
too.
I'm saying?
Yes.
And he had told me, like it's God's timing.
Yeah.
And I said, what the fuck does that mean? And he goes, I am slow. I need you to draw me a picture, basically. Why can't I? Because he goes, focus on recovery, focus on recovery, focus on recovery. I ain't gonna lie. At the beginning, I was like, man, what the fuck is recovery? How's recovery gonna pay my bills? He says, as long as you're doing what you got to do, God will provide.
Mm.
You know,
Did you believe him at the time?
No, that's why I told him to paint me a picture, and he did, basically, because he said, okay, let's just say, and I still need this to this day.
Of course. Of
He
course.
goes, let's just say right now, how many meetings you're going to? I said 7 a week. He goes, okay, how do you feel right now? I go, good. He goes, when's the last time you used? I said, I was coming up on it was more than a year, because I had spent a year in jail. So I said, I don't know, probably 18 months. He goes, all right. He goes, so let's just say you get a job right now, right? So now your meeting attendance stops, okay,
Mm.
because you're going to work, and now you're going to work more than to meetings, right? That 7 becomes 5, that's 5 becomes 3, and then you're going, now the people at work are telling you, hey, we're gonna go to happy hour, and then initially you're like, nah, I work with program recovery, I'm good, like I can't do that. The more they start asking you, now you're gonna start going. Now you're only going to one meeting.
Mm.
Now you stop going to meetings, because you think you're a year into it, and you got this, great amount of clean time, and you're good, and you don't need meetings, because you're a productive member of society. You're working, you're taking care of your girl and her kids. You got your own place. Everything's good. You got a sponsor that you're talking, and he goes,
Yeah.
but now he goes, that happy hour sounds good, but you go in there with the stipulation of that you're only going to drink water. He goes, which sounds great. You
Sounds
go,
amazing.
yeah, you go to happy hour. The first couple of times you're actually drinking
Yeah.
water,
Yeah.
but you have a bad day at
Uh-huh.
work.
Mhm.
Now you're at happy hour. Now that drink sounds good. Now you're drinking. You ain't going to meetings. You ain't talked to me in a long time. You ain't going fellowshipping with people in recovery. You basically on the outside of recovery, but now you're going to bars instead. He goes, so now you take that first drink. Once you take that first drink,
Game over.
game over.
It's
And I
game
was like, well,
over.
damn, you just made all that sound really bad. I don't even want a job now.
So now in early recovery, right? How did you handle cravings, triggers, self-doubt? self sabotage. How did you handle that?
I had to become honest with self and really I started going to a lot of meetings. I mean,
Mhm.
you heard it, was meetings, 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 and getting a sponsor. That was key. I mean, and initially I still didn't, even though I had a sponsor at the beginning. Honestly, it wasn't even a sponsor. It was more meetings. That's the God honest truth. Because I had the sponsor in the beginning just so motherfuckers would stop bugging me about having a sponsor. That's the God honest truth.
Okay, okay.
So when old timers come up and be like, "Hey, Rafa, you got a sponsor?" We're like, "Yeah," and they'll be like, "Okay, cool." So they leave me alone. But if I was to say I don't have a sponsor, they start on a rant about you
Yeah,
need to get
yeah,
a sponsor. You need to get a sponsor.
yeah.
So for me, it was going to meetings. It was going to meetings, and why I say meetings is because when we think we have it bad, and you go to a meeting and you actually hear somebody that is really
Mhm,
going through it,
mhm.
you know, that right there helps me stay clean.
Yeah.
And the cravings part for me was I just really got honest with self. What the fuck is it gonna do? What is it gonna do? But give me that pain and misery. That's all it was gonna do. And once I'm out of the sack and I ain't got no more dope, I'm still gonna be right back in that place, probably with the new case.
Yeah. More extensive criminal
Exactly.
record. Yeah.
I mean, because I mean, golly, I mean, I probably just got off probation parole like a while ago, but so for me, it was that just replaying the tape. Like they say in the program that you know we give you a whole bunch of tools. Like in my old areas, they'd be like, we have an imaginary tool belt here, and what we do in the in the rooms or in recovery is give you a whole bunch of tools on how to work on each problem that we got. So for me, the biggest one that I usually use for cravings is playing the tape through. What is it gonna do? Where is it gonna put me? It's gonna put me back into couch hopping, living in a garage, going to laundry, 24-hour laundromats to take a bird bath. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what it's gonna do. Do
Yeah.
I want that? Hell nah. Too over that shit.
Yeah. Absolutely. So how did mental health and trauma show up in your recovery?
Well, it was in the step work. Step work. I
Get in
mean,
more detail
y
about that step
well,
work,
step work
right?
is obviously what we work in our program. It's a series of questions that really make you dig and get into the root of the problem. A lot of us, I mean, for me, I like to think that a lot of my addiction came from the trauma that I went through as a kid, whether it's, being abandoned by my father, not feeling loved by my father. I know my mother loved me, but, she had her own things going on. So I had to basically, it's like they say, it's like peeling an onion back,
Mm,
you know?
layers.
Yes, it's that layers. And once you're peeling that onion back, tears, tears to me, like growing up, I thought tears was a sign of weakness.
Mm,
Like if you cry, you basically
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
you kind of stop being a pussy,
yeah.
you know. But to me now, tears is like cleansing of the soul. The mental health for me, the trauma was feeling abandoned. So I had to do a lot of digging to where like it hurt initially, like growing up without well, I went through a lot because my father and my mother had a rocky relationship, and there was physical and mental abuse going on there, and physical and mental abuse on our part as well, So um, I had to peel that onion back, and I had to write a lot about the traumas that I've been through. For me, like being a 6, 7 year old little kid, waiting in the front of our apartments, waiting for my dad to come pick me up to take me to his soccer games, you know, I would stay in the front for hours. I mean, from the morning time to the nighttime. My mom will come out probably like 6, 7 times, probably like every hour on the hour, telling me like he's not coming come inside, come inside. And I would get mad at her because she's trying to take me away from that. I'll be like, man, leave me alone, man. He's coming. You know, it's dark. She would be like, he's not coming. And I'll be like, and I will walk inside crying like a little boy, because I know for me, growing up as a man now, that all a little boy ever wants is his father,
Uh,
and I didn't want to admit that shit, because I still think, man, fuck my dad, because me and him still have a rocky relationship.
sure.
I mean, I had a blocking again just last week, so I still deal with that trauma and still deal with that mental and abuse that he likes to put us through. But why I struggle with that is because my father is one of us
Mm,
and he's in his acts of addiction, you know? But for him, he is a wealthy man, so, and he grew up in a generation that it was okay to drink and it was okay to yell at their wives and it was okay to put hands on them and it was okay to belittle you and make you feel less than, so for me, like, what recovery and treatment has also given me was the ability to break those chains from trauma and shit that my dad had gave over to me. So there's man, that trauma, mental health, there's a whole lot we could get into in that,
yeah,
because
yeah,
it's still dealing with that.
yeah. So what beliefs about yourself had to change?
That I wasn't a piece of shit.
Mm. And when did you start realizing that? Because why I'm asking that is because like when you get into that 30 early stages of recovery, it's like that's all you think about is that self-doubt, self-sabotage. Like you ain't shit. You ain't ever gonna be shit. Like all you are is an addict, and that's it. You know, so like when did that change for you?
I mean, it's gonna sound like for me, honestly, I had lied in even like I was that person that in meetings I took dirty chips, right? Two of them to be exact. You know, um, I can tell you a story about that. How I actually came to want to become honest about that.
Mm,
But for me, I think well, that's a big part of it because I was living a lie still in the rooms. I was living a lie in recovery and saying that I had this and I had that when I wasn't doing that.
mm,
So for me, when I actually became honest with self, because even I mean, I even talked to my mother about me, my drunken, I had relapse on alcohol and stuff like that, and I love that. You know what it was? It was not seeing my mom crying. My mother not questioning what I'm doing, where I'm at, or who I'm doing it with. Like it for me was not having to watch over my back no more. I trip out on this. This is the truth. I'm still bald. I'm still Mexican. I still have tattoos. I still kind of dress the same, a little more, not as much like I used to before, but I don't get pulled over. So I always thought it was. I'm just saying because like it's like
yeah, I
if
get it. Yes, yes, yes,
you're
yes.
doing right and you're doing good, you don't get fucked with.
Yeah, I get it.
That
I
right
get
there
it.
to me is fucking like oh my god, it's like the best.
I 100% understand that.
Like it's crazy because I always thought like man, it's everybody against me.
Mhm. The whole world is
Yeah,
out to get me.
it's my mom's fault that I became an addict. It's
Ooh,
my dad's fault that I became an addict. It's society's fault that I
so
became an
now,
addict.
what about now?
No, it's
Okay.
my fucking fault. There's a word that a lot of people don't like using and don't actually know the meaning of it, but it's accountability.
Oof.
take accountability for your own actions. My mom never told me go out on the block and sell fucking meth and all that shit. No, I did that.
Mm.
I did that. I put myself in harm's way every time. So, there's a saying around here, this beautiful facility that we say, if you want something different, you got to do something different. And that's the truth.
Oof.
I mean, it's a simple program for complicated motherfuckers.
Oof.
And God knows we all complicate the fuck out of this. Ain't no rewriting the wheel, man, or redesigning the wheel. It's a simple program. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. I get you. So what are you today compared to who you were then?
Man, I can
See,
pull up my,
this right here is like for me, man, like back then I was a piece of shit, right? And now, like we talked about, a productive member of society. You know what I mean? Like a beautiful family, beautiful wife, beautiful kids. I could have never imagined
yeah.
a degenerate individual like myself of having.
Degenerate.
You know what I mean? You know, it's and I don't know, man. I have a freedom. I have a life beyond my wildest dreams. So I want to see like what your, you know,
Well, I was bad. I mean, I think that question would be better asked to by Mama Sendejas, Mama
yeah,
Rafa.
yeah, yeah.
She could tell you how I was. I was a very violent individual, and my mom has seen all of it. I mean, I remember at a young age. I think I was like 13. I was already getting high. My mom had gave me. She was taking me to a continuation school because I already. No, I was actually 15. Yeah, because I got kicked out of my high school for beating up the bus driver. Um, yeah, they said they kicked me out of the district because of that. So I had to go to like
What was
to
he driving slow or something? What?
no, it was no. He put he literally no. This is the truth. He kicked one of my homeboys out of the bus. My homeboy had like a footprint on his chest because he literally did kick him off. So I mean, yeah, yeah. No, I don't condone none of that. So don't. Um, but my mom has she was dropping me off at the continuation school, and she had given me. We stopped at the gas station, so I get some orange juice. She gave me a 20, and I went in and bought like a little $1.29 orange juice, and I came back with $5.
Yeah,
And when I gave her the change, she was like, "What the fuck is this?" And I was like, "The change." She
it's
said, "I gave you a
taxes, bro. You
20."
gotta tax
No,
it.
I didn't. I didn't do that. The cashier did that. So
Uh,
she went in there, and I was in the car, and she went in there and tried to explain getting the money back. But the cashier started raising his voice at my mom, and
oh, that you clicked.
I went on his side. I grabbed him. I drug him out. And this is a 15-year-old boy
Yeah.
that is getting a grown ass man. I dragged him over the counter, and my mom started fucking grabbing me and pulling me. I would like to say that was the only time that my mom's ever seen me do that, but it's been many times before. So now I'm totally the opposite.
Mm,
I mean, I literally just came from one of my friends' um, daughter's
mm,
funeral.
mm.
I show up for people now.
Yeah.
I'm there.
You suit up and show up.
Yeah, it's suit up and show up. For anything and everything.
Yeah.
I'm there. The drop of a dime for my
Mhm.
friends and their kids. I look at their kids as my kids. I'm productive member of society. I'm reliable. I'm trustworthy. I'm an honest, good man.
Mm.
That's what I am.
Yeah.
And that's not what I was.
No.
I was a piece of shit, like you said. I was grimy as fuck. I was the grimiest. I actually used to take pride in that
Yeah.
shit.
Yes.
Like, yeah, like I did that shit. Like I walk around now and I trip out, because the crazy thing about me is like I take pride in being able to go anywhere, and even people still look at me like, oh, this motherfucker party. Like he's He's a thug.
He's a thug.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I'm like, no, I'm not, sweetie.
Yes. Yes.
I'm
Yes.
not.
Yes.
Like,
No, man.
like
It's
it's go ahead and stereotype me all you want,
yes.
but I'm the total opposite.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
Yes.
and then my arrogance will kick in. I'll be like, "You're lucky you didn't meet me 20 years ago."
Yes.
You
You know
know?
what's funny, man? Since you spoke about that, man, I have a story. It was me and my mom, um, summertime, and it was hot. It was a couple years ago. And I'm wearing tank top, going to a restaurant with my mom, and we're sitting down, and my back is towards a family, and they're speaking my language to one another, saying, "Hey, hey, hey, watch your purse," right? And like I just I had to turn around and talk to them in their language, which is my language,
Mhm.
and be like, "No need to touch your purse. I'm totally fine. I don't need to do that no more." Right? A few years later, this individual's son, and this is what trips me out. This individual's son is struggling with his addiction, and she got my number from one of my mom's friends,
Mm.
and she reached out to me. And she reached out to me asking if I can assist her with her son and his addiction. So as soon as I didn't know that that was the
Yeah, put it
individual.
together, yeah.
So when I went to Starbucks to meet with her, she looked at me and I said, "Do you remember me?"
Sheesh.
And she apologized. She said, "I didn't know, that stereotype, like, and that's just how it is, right? Like I might, we might look a certain way, but deep down inside, like we are teddy bears.
Yeah, well, that's why it goes back to don't to that, I mean, that old cliche, "Don't judge a book by its cover,"
Absolutely,
you know?
absolutely.
Because even to go circle back to that question you asked, "Who was I before and who am I now?" I was when I was in the lowest, that grimy piece of shit that used to steal everything from my mother.
Yeah, yeah.
I used to
Oh,
rob my mother of her peace of mind, her
man.
sanity, her money.
Yeah.
Fast forward, I'm that addict that helps my mother,
Yes,
pays for
yes.
stuff for my mother.
Yeah,
I mean, I literally moved back down to Los Angeles. It's crazy how this whole thing works because I moved away from LA because they were tired of me robbing them.
sure.
So they said, "Get out. We don't want you here no more."
Yeah.
Fast forward probably 16, 17 years later,
Mm,
I'm at the same house that they kicked me back out of.
with a key.
Yes, with the key,
Don't have to
and
hide their
I'm
purses.
there to help them
Man,
now. I mean,
wow,
talk about a 180,
wow,
from that house that I used to do all that grimy shit at, to now being back to help them because
wow.
my mother and my
Yeah,
aunts are older now, which
yeah, yeah.
like, call them the Golden Girls,
Ah,
you know? And it's
the
crazy.
sweetest individuals ever.
And it's crazy how recovery works. I
Yeah.
mean, and it's all because I got introduced through treatment.
Mm,
Again, being that person that I was, I mean, I'm the man now that obviously we talked about the little trauma that I had with a lot of trauma that I had with my father, but being that individual that went and did everything correctly to get full custody of my son.
yes. So now okay, so since we're over here on this topic, right? You had trauma because of your father, right? And now you have a son.
Hmm.
So what have you learned from your father to not do with your son?
Everything opposite. Everything opposite. And I like to say again, this is where the thing, every I'm not ever going to be that one guy that works a program that says we do everything perfect. No,
No.
we live, we learn,
Yes.
but we don't stay in that shit.
Mhm.
For me, initially, I was because um, I've had full custody of my son Jaden, as you know, since
Mhm.
he was about 2 years old. 2 years old, I've had full custody of him, so it's been me and him. Um, I do everything opposite of what my dad does. Obviously, my dad wasn't there, so I'm there. I raised initially, I was raising him with the mentality of You're gonna hate me now or fear me now, love me later. Because I I kind of emulated that through some other people that I know
Sure.
in recovery that I seen their kids grow up to be good men. So I was like, oh, okay, but for me, it's everything's different. I don't want my son to fear me. I want my son to be able to come to me,
Yeah,
talk
trust.
to me,
Yeah. Yeah.
trust
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
be be vulnerable.
Uh-huh.
Because that for men, that's something we don't do. We are, I don't know, we're not gonna, I'm not gonna say we were taught, but I was taught from the streets not to be vulnerable. So I have a great relationship with my son. Um and we continue to work on it. I mean, he's a good boy.
Yeah.
He's a real
Yes.
good boy. He's
Yes, he
respectful,
is. Yes, he is.
loving, he's caring. He is everything opposite of what I was at that age.
Hmm.
So whenever the disease tries to attack me and tries to fucking say that I am a failure or a piece of shit, I have my son to look at and say, no, he's doing
Yes.
fucking great and
Yes.
I'm doing the right thing.
Yes.
I mean, and you know, he's 14.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody perfect.
Nope.
He ain't getting loaded.
Yes. And I think that you just said that he's nothing like me when I was his age, man, is because he has a role model. You see what I'm saying? Like, he has someone to look up to, right? Like even my kids, right? Like even, other kids' fathers that are in recovery, like they changed, right? So, like,
Mhm.
they look up to them, right? So that's a beautiful part, man, that I do love, man, and I do enjoy your son a lot, a lot. Very, very respectful, like, you might say he's different at home, but in front of me, in front of my household,
Yeah,
our household, like,
he's great. Yeah,
man,
he's great. I mean, and honestly, he is like that at home. He's just like every other 14. I'm not gonna say most of 14-year-old boys. It's when they go to school.
yeah,
That's it. Because
eh,
when he's at home, he's great.
yeah,
He
yeah,
takes care of the Golden Girls just as much as I do.
yeah, yeah,
He's right there.
yeah. Um, what gives your life meaning today?
Family and friends.
Yeah.
Because what I for me, and that sounds corny as fuck, but it's the
No, it
truth.
doesn't. It doesn't because one reason why it doesn't sound corny is because, when we were out there ripping and running, like,
We didn't
no
have that.
one.
I remember when I got clean, and like, this is a tough. We kind of talked about in the beginning,
Yeah.
but the early part of my recovery, and this is a tough one. I think this was actually another. The more we talk about it, the more I'm remembering. But the tough part was not coming home, right? And the reason I say that is because just because I work a program of recovery does not mean that everybody at home is working a program of recovery. So there is still alcohol and drugs there.
Yeah.
So, but I came home once and I was looking through photo albums because we still had photo albums.
Damn, I need to come to your house and look at the photo album,
And we
bro.
had a photo, you don't. No, you do actually, because you're gonna hear why. Because I was looking through the photo albums and I was saying, and I was tripping out because I was like, "Hey, ma," she was like, "What, mijo?" And I was like, "How come I'm not in any of these
Mm.
photos?" Right?
Wow. That that
Yeah,
that must
yeah, yeah,
that must have hurt you
yes.
tremendously.
Because she said, and me and my mom, we talk shit, we clown.
Eh,
So her response was like, "Well, because you're out there getting
yeah,
high."
and she's not
And
lying.
she's not, but when that stung.
Yeah.
So that goes back to the question of what it means for me is now for me it is spending quality time with family and friends
Mm. Yeah.
and my kids, of course.
Yeah.
That's to me that's the icing on the cake. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't need to have it all. I mean, I was reading a post earlier today, and it said if you have, it said exactly what I just said. I think I'm actually was kind of paraphrasing it from it. It said if you have food on the table, a roof over your head, and quality family and friend times, you are more richer than you think.
Hmm.
And when I read that, I was like, this is true. This is true. I mean, Rich to me is obviously, of course, we all want money, but quality of times with family and friends
I want
is
peace, man. I want
see, yeah.
9, 10
Well,
hours of sleep with not a
well, see,
four-year-old
well, see,
smacking
well,
me in my
see,
head.
well,
Wake up,
see,
daddy.
well, see, but I live in a world of reality. That shit right there, that piece ain't coming anytime
No,
soon.
no, 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 no.
No, you still got a lot of years.
Man,
I mean, there's a big age gap too. I mean,
listen,
God,
man. I love my children. I love them to
of
death, man.
course.
I love them to death. But sometimes at like 4 o'clock in the morning, getting smacked in the head with her or his baby saying, wake up, cocoa melon," at 4 o'clock in the morning, and going
Yeah,
downstairs
no,
and having a
it's
cocoa melon party. You know what, man? That energizes me.
yes,
And I realized that recently, man. Like that, like it's been 6 nights. All the kids have been sleeping in their beds, and and
priceless.
and no, last night, man, I looked at my wife while I was laying down and having a conversation with her, and I was like, I want some feet in my face. I want my daughter to kick me in my face. I miss that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, yeah, it is beautiful. It is priceless, man. And I
it
would have
it
never
is. But
imagined
I
this.
trust and believe I've had enough days of Jaden's feet in my back or in his knee on my back or how the hell did you end up coming this way?
Clock,
Your
a
head is on
clock.
my feet now. Like how did that happen? Like no,
It's
I've had
just
enough. I am grateful. I am at the stage where I am grateful that he's old enough and he does sleep in his own room in
uh,
his own bed. You stay over there, because that day will come.
it will. It will. What is one thing you wish you knew before getting clean?
What is one thing I wish I knew that I don't have to pick up no matter fucking what?
Ah, there you go.
No matter
Yeah,
fucking what.
yeah.
And it's funny because the name of the podcast is No Matter
Yes.
What. But, my old area, we like to throw that fucking in there because that puts a little more umph into it.
Yeah.
We don't have to get loaded no matter fucking what. And what that means is, because the reality of is, the people think once we stop getting high, the problems go away.
No,
It's fucking fake.
no.
That is not reality. But what that means is we could continue living life without the use of drugs.
Mm,
Now that what that means for me is I've been through obviously in the last couple of years, 2, 3 years. I mean, I've been through a lot. I've been through a lot of no matter fucking
uh-huh.
whats. Um, facing 25 years, not beating it, but you could say beating it because what I got was not 25 years. Obviously, I'm right here, but breakups, divorces, uh, losing of the house, selling my first ever house that I bought,
Yeah.
you know, um, the divorce, my youngest son moving away to
Yes.
Arizona, which that was all for recovery purposes, meaning for me, because I did not want to rob his mother
Sure.
of more money and more better stability for
Sure.
herself and
Sure.
our son.
Yeah.
So that was a big one for me. Um, you know, sponsees overdosing and
Sure.
dying,
Yeah. Yeah.
feeling less than, again, that feeling of feeling less than because I couldn't do nothing. I didn't do enough to save them. Maybe I could have done this, maybe I could have done that. But it's no matter fucking what. If I knew that, if I believed that when somebody first told me when I was 18 and I was introduced to
Mm.
treatment and I wasn't so stupid and stubborn and fucking hard headed. If I believed when they told me you don't have to get high no matter fucking what. If I believed that and listened to it, then I probably would have, but we all have to take our own journeys,
Yeah,
man.
man. And I
Yeah.
don't know about you, man, but I personally am grateful that you've gone through whatever you've gone through to bring you back to LA for me and you to cross
Of
paths. You know
course.
what I mean? Like that it's it's this year and last year, I believe you and other individuals have impacted my life tremendously, especially with, the beginning of the year last year. You know what I mean? So I'm beyond grateful. Um, what is one message for someone that is listening right now who feels hopeless?
Sheesh.
Uh,
One message. The message would be, and I'm not going to use the whole cliche where we all use in our program, but it is. The message is hope,
yeah,
and the promise is freedom.
yeah,
And a lot of us don't understand what that means, but freedom of not being a slave
to the
to the
disease.
disease of
Phew,
addiction.
man.
Like that right there has us by the balls, so to say.
Yeah,
And if if you could get rid of that, and like a lot of young people, like that's when you know, I went through what I went through, right? Because I had to go through that, you know. But your journey doesn't have to be like our journey.
yes.
I remember old timers would always tell me, like, you don't have to keep bumping your head because I did it for you. And
Yeah.
my response to be was that, shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear it. I don't care. You're dumb and you're lame.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, they were right.
Uh,
They paved the payment for us already. It's scripted right there. You know, so the message is hope, and the promise is freedom. You know, we don't have to pick up no matter fucking what.
yeah.
You
So
know,
now so now this podcast is called No Matter What, right? What does no matter what mean to you today?
sheesh,
And
man.
like I love the name,
Yeah,
like no matter what. Like that for me
yeah.
but
No
how
matter.
what does that
I
mean?
mean, I should have everything I just said before that. It's the same shit. And no matter what, no matter if whether it's finances, death, romances, we don't have to pick up no
Yeah,
matter what.
yeah.
Like no matter what, like it's we have a thing called life on life's terms, and it's
Mm,
always gonna hit us in every which way. How we deal with it, it's on us now. My old sponsor used to tell me this. He goes, "You are powerless over people, places, and things. And what you're not powerless is over is how you react to those things." And I love that because it's the truth. So no matter what comes up in my life, if I don't pick up, I will be okay.
mm,
I will be okay.
yeah.
I mean, dude, my last 3 years has proved that shit. Back-to-back hip
Yeah,
replacements.
dude.
Dude, even my pride and my ego getting hit, being in the little sauna with the little old ladies and them telling me, "What are you doing in here? You're too young to be in here." And I was like, "I just had a hip replacement." And they're like, "Well, get in here, sonny." That shit right there, like that, like right there, like my pride and ego got hit, and I was like, "I'm good.
Yeah, man.
I am good."
Yeah,
So no matter what, whatever happens, I don't have to pick up.
yeah.
That's what that
Yeah,
means to me, dude.
that does. Yeah, I love like when I first was thinking about making a podcast, man, like I was thinking about names, man, and this was like 6, 7 months ago, right? And like I was like thinking about it. And I was like, you know what? No matter what, the no matter what podcast, and that like you said, like that plays a huge role in your life,
Yeah.
right? Like for me, man, like these past 2025 and now 2026 with everything that's going with my family, like we don't pick up or use no matter what.
No matter
Like
what.
even if we want to, like we don't have to. Like that's just I don't know, that plays a huge part in my recovery, in my life, and I'm beyond grateful for that saying.
Hell yeah. I mean, I've been using no matter what since for the last 15 years,
Yeah,
and I'm gonna keep using no matter what for the last 15, 16
yeah,
years. I mean, it's not only a saying, but it's a way of living.
yeah, yeah.
No matter what. Like I ain't I ain't using no matter fucking what.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
man, I appreciate you coming out. This was a pleasure. You are our first speaker on this podcast, so this will hold a lot of space.
yeah, well, you know,
Um, if you or your loved one is struggling, man, please do not hesitate to reach out to anyone. At the bottom of our descriptions, there's a multiple list of resources that you guys can utilize. Um, Appreciate you, brother.
of course.
Thank you.